Good day, guys. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're having a good day. If you aren't, I do hope this video makes it a little bit better. In today's video, we're going to be going through the beat breakdown for Rema's song, Fun. Now, this is a banger song. I mean, as usual, it's Rema. But there's no denying that this song really came to life. It really came to life because of London's production. London really did a lot on this track. So the beat is somewhat simple, but it's just the other things that really brought out the full texture of the song that go a bit complex. And really, not even really complex, just you won't just easily be able to get it. So the first thing I'm going to go through here, I'm going to first start with the things that bring the texture before I move into like the chord progression and the drums and stuff. So the first thing we have is this app, and this is the note it's playing. This is the ambient echoes preset from Citrus, and here's how it sounds. It only plays for the first 8 bars, and it doesn't play anymore. So for this, I just picked the ambient echoes, and then I came down to operator 1. And then I moved all this down. They were all up before, so I just moved them down. This 22, 16, 20, 27. So that's what I did. And then for the effect track, this is why I added this EQ. I added halftime, this EQ again, and some reverb. So yeah. So for the next thing that was added to this is vinyl. I'm sure we all know what that is. Just some vinyl crackle. So for this, all I added was some transient shaper because you don't want it to be so. You don't want it to be so. There's an FL equivalent of this, by the way. I know I said it was just stock plugins, but I can't remember what it is. If I do remember, I'll put it up on the screen. So this is just to tame the harshness of the vinyl, because this is how it sounds with it on and with it off. On, off. One is much more sharper, and then the song is not so sharp. That's why I added this transient shaper. And then I just rolled off a little bit of the high end. So yeah. Then also we have this. And I'm sure you notice it coming in a lot throughout the whole song at different volumes. It comes in a lot. So this is very simple. This is audio. So this is the preset I used. I entered harmless, and I picked the additive spare FG. So I left everything the same. I only changed the reverb to the venue, and I turned the mix down of this. The compressor is warming, and I turned the mix down to 20%. The chorus, I'm not sure if I changed this, but chorus flanger. Just set the whole everything here to this setting. I know I didn't mess with the delay at all, but this is it for the chorus. The mix is at 18. So I just changed the chorus, I put it on flanger, and I brought the mix down to 18. I didn't touch this at all. I changed the reverb to the venue, and the mix is at 57. The compression is warming, and I turned the mix down to 20. So this is the note it's playing. It just has this A sharp sustained for a while. So this is how it sounds. Yeah, so when I did render that out, I then adjusted the timing because it came in a little bit late or fast or something. Let me see. So yeah, so that's that for the texture. So let's now go into the chord progression. Now, as you can see, there's two. I have this Rhodes piano and this EXO organ. This EXO organ only comes in at the beginning and for like a second at the end. So let me play what this XO. Let me show you how this XO organ sounds like. You know, so that's the XO organ of Kepler XO. Just open Kepler XO plugin and pick the XO organ. So that just adds more fullness to the Rhodes piano. So okay, as you can see, this is the pattern it's playing. This is the same pattern that the piano is playing. So let's go to the piano. Yeah, so that's it. Okay, this Rhodes piano. Let me show you the preset. Um, this is shit. Did I get this? Wait, hold on. I think I just came down to packs, instruments, keyboard, and I picked the Rhodes. Yeah, that's this preset. So that's what it is. So let me show you the effect I added on this piano, and then I'll show you the effect I added on the XO organ to achieve the sound. So for the Rhodes, I added some disruptor. I turned off both distortion here. The preamp is at 6.7 dB. This is middle. Threshold 0.1, watt points 31%. And yeah, then I turned on speaker and just turned the mix down to 26%. So then coming to Fruity parametric EQ and I cut off most of the highs. So for the EXO organ, there's a lot actually. I picked the fast clean preset and turned it down to 16% parametric EQ. I just wanted to emphasize this part a little bit, so I dragged it up, then I added the distortion. If you don't know what that does, if you like bring up this and add a distortion, it really makes that part pronounced. And then you can now copy over the exact EQ, this exact EQ, and then turn it down so that it's not distorting. You distorted the sound, but you can still bring down what you distorted. It's just bringing more present. It's something called resonance, right? When you bring up something, other frequencies are enhanced. Other frequencies supporting this 1200 hertz. Other frequencies enhanced come out. So then I added fresh air just to smoothly. Fresh air is simply like an EQ. Like using fresh air is, let me show you. Using fresh air is just like doing this on an EQ, just like smoother. So that's why I did that. So for fresh air, I just added some mid and highs, and then reverb. The wet is around 45. I turned the dry down to 91, and then we have EQ, just boosting this a little bit, and cut off around the 93 hertz. So yeah, so that's what we have for this. Now let's see how all that sounds. Right. So now, you know why I said the texture is really important. Now let's turn off all the things texture and let's see. Right? It still sounds okay, but it doesn't have that same atmospheric feel as the original. So right, so that's it for this. Then we get into this place that the EXO organ drops out and the peck. Just disclaimer, this is not the peck that was used. I mean, obviously you hear it, but I just put a peck that sounds somewhat similar, and I just want to show you the processing that was done on the peck to get that particular sound from the original song. So here's how it sounds. I better pass me my cup. I just want to have fun. Because of copyrights, let me turn this off. I. 'Cause of copyrights, let me turn this off. I don't even know if it's about. 'Cause of. 'Cause of copyrights, let me turn this off. I don't even know if it's about. 'Cause of. 'Cause of copyrights, let me turn this off. I don't even know if it's about. 'Cause of. 'Cause of copyrights, let me turn this off. I don't even know if it's about. 'Cause of. 'Cause of copyrights, let me turn this off. I don't even know if it's about. 'Cause of. 'Cause of copyrights, let me turn this off. I don't even know if it's about. 'Cause of. 'Cause of copyrights, let me turn this off. I don't even know if it's about. 'Cause of. 'Cause of copyrights, let me turn this off. I don't even know if it's about. 'Cause of. 'Cause of copyrights, let me turn this off. I don't even know if it's about. 'Cause of. 'Cause of copyrights, let me turn this off. I don't even know if it's about. 'Cause of. 'Cause of copyrights, let me turn this off. I
better pass me my cup.
Right. So as you can hear, the back doesn't quite sound right. So let me just come here and show you what I did. So let me turn off this effect and play it again. Oh, sorry, wrong. So this is it without effect, and this is it with effect. Exactly, as you can tell, it sounds different. So what I did was a beat crush. Again, I'm already too used to using third-party plugins, so I just sort of skipped over because I was rushing. But if I do remember what the stock plugin alternative of this is, I'll put it up on the screen. So this beat crush, I brought it down to 11 kilohertz. I turned the quantize to I don't know, this somewhere around 85%. Here it is around 82%. I turned the data all the way down, and that's what gave us that sound. And then I call off I just added this EQ. So, obviously it's not the same peg, so it doesn't really matter about the EQ, but it's the beat crushing. What gave that peg that particular sound in the song, that sort of empty slash distort, you can tell you understand what I'm talking about was beat crushing. It's a simple thing. It's just, I don't really know what it means, but I just know when I hear something that has been beat crushed, I just know it has been beat crushed. So yeah, so that's that. Then we have shakers. So I just dragged in these shakers. Did I have any effects on here? No. Didn't. So yeah. So there's a lot happening in the drums, in the drums area part, in the drums part of this. So okay, I don't know if I mentioned, but this vinyl that is running throughout here, at the beginning, it's louder than the other parts. As you can see here is minus 2.7 decibels, and then when it comes here it's minus 4.6. So it's reduced up until the end, I think, where I raise it back to this last eight, not 8 bars, but this last couple of bars, I just raise it back to 2.7. So yeah, okay. So let's just focus on the drums for now. Take off this and that. Wow, there's a lot to go through actually. Let me start with the piano drum loop. So for this, I have this very soft kick, my piano tends to have that sometimes. Very soft kick. I just have it playing every 4 bars. Then I have this log drum. Yep. So that's for the piano log drum. Then I have this kick playing this pattern. Yeah, very simple. Then I have this snare. So let me play just those now. Yeah, so I don't really want to go through all of this. It's just unnecessarily long, but let me just show you some of them. Then I have this tom. Now, as you can see, there's a delay on it because there's a little delay in the song. So I just added a fruity delay. This time is at 2. The level is 39.7. The width is 37.6. And I turned the tone up a little bit. I cut off around the 12,600 hertz. Added a little bit of resonance, and here's how it sounds compared to right. So here's how that sounds. Yeah, so then this conga playing this pattern. Yeah, I'm sure it's already beginning to sound familiar. There's a lot missing still, but so then these are just some other perks that were in the stuff. Yeah, right. I'm sure you've noticed that wrist bass. So let me first touch on this cello.
Oh, yo, I'm dripping. Blue water Fiji. Balenciaga
Yeah,
Ricky.
so this is the full cello. I just cut it because that's how it is in the song. So for this cello, I went into Flex, General MIDI library, then I went into the viola. I think the delay was on, I turned that off. Then these are the effects I added.
Oh, yo, I'm dripping.
Okay, just that. The fat clean preset again, and I turned this down to 24. I added a little fast distortion. The mix is at 20. Then fruity delay, I just use the widen preset. That's come here and come here. Then I added some reverb, turned this down to 91, up to 66, and this is at 4 kilohertz. And the size is 86. Yeah, so there's two different cellos in here, probably three. So here's the next one. Right. So, okay, here's the pattern for the first one. Right. So the next thing we have is this. Okay, yes, we have a drum break here.
Stay with me, I do this. I no get compare.
Sorry. Exactly. So for this, I only let the piano drum loop, the kick, and the soft snare play at the beginning here. So that's what gave it that slappy feel. Right. So now you can notice that wrist bass where I put it here. So the wrist bass, this is the pattern of the wrist bass. Let me just show you what it's playing. Right, so that's exactly what it's playing. So for this one, I just dragged this preset in from my No Afro Fusion pack. You can get it. It's the first link in the description. Actually, all these drum samples can be found in that pack. So it's a very versatile pack. So anyway, this is morphine, and for this I just went to the bass P3 preset. Right, so that's exactly what it is. And okay, what else do we have? I think we've covered almost everything. The only thing that remains now, there were some other parts that came in towards the end, like this one, like this one. No, hold on. Right. So, and a lot of these are very subtle and in the back end. So you need to even have a good ear on it to even notice it's there in the first place. So for this, I opened Flex again and I went to the Acom Cityscape Gentle Force. That was how I got this. Did I add anything on the? Okay, so I added some parametric EQ. some reverb. This is at 59, this is at 97, 146, 2.6. And I added some stereo separation, 23% to be exact. So then I added some EQ again, such wet shapes. Then yeah, so this is what I did on the stereo field. Just to make it more pronounced because there's a lot going on at that particular part. So I need to shape the stereo a little bit so it's still, you can hear it, you can notice it. So here's how that sounds all together. Oh, okay, sorry. Let me go through this staccato. So yeah, this comes in at some parts actually, just energetic. Right, so this is flex again. Flex has a lot of, as I always say, flex has a lot of useful sounds. If you're just starting in FL, you want to experiment with flex. So I went to essential strings and bass staccato. So then for effects, and I went to parametric EQ, boosted that high a little bit. We need it boosted. And to make it more pronounced, I still went to wave shaper and I turned this up to about 14.2% just to make it a little bit more distorted. And then I loaded up a Fruity Peak controller because I wanted to put the delay. I'll explain that in a bit. So let me leave that open and then I added Fruity delay. So what that peak controller is for, I've explained in some other videos, but let me explain again. Like, since this is playing, you don't want, like, because as you heard, I added delay. You don't want the delay to be clashing with when it's playing a new note. The delay from the previous stuff is clashing with what is now being played. So this peak controller just basically, once there's something actually playing, what this is for is just it reduces the volume of this. So what I did was I right clicked here and I linked to controller and I linked to this. So look at that now. As you can see, this is being controlled. This, I routed it to this peak. So these are the settings that is controlling this. If you want a more in-depth video on how to use Fruity Peak controller, I'll be more than happy to explain. I really love this. I use this in every aspect of my production, mixing vocals, making beats, whatever. It's a very useful feature. So okay, let me turn that off so that you can actually see what I'm talking about. As you can see, the delay is smooth, but let's say we turn this off now. It becomes more, it's not so controlled, it's not so smooth anymore. So then I added this Fruity Panomatic. It just gives that left-right feel, because in the beat, if you listen, it's not playing in one place, it's moving left and right, a little scattered. Then I turned that down to 84%. So here's how everything sounds now. So I have this one I called sidekick. I just simply copied the kick over. So as you can see, I didn't route it anywhere. So I just have this playing here and I routed it into this raise bass and added a limiter so that the kick is not clashing with the bass. It's a simple sidechaining technique. I've explained in the previous video, I'll put it on the screen. I've explained in this video if you want to know more about mixing kick and 808 bass, go and check out that video. So yeah, so the last thing we didn't have in this song is just this pad playing at the outro. So let me show you the pattern. Right, very simple. I don't know why I named it pad actually. That's a viola, obviously. It's even written there. Oh shit, viola. So I just came up to essential strings, viola sustained. I turned off delay, I think. And then for effect, let's see, for effect. You have the fruity chorus. I think this is the poly chorus preset. Let's see. Not really sure. Yeah, poly chorus preset, the fruity delay, I use the widen preset. Pretty reverb. This is down to 90. This is up to 68. This is 2.1, 33, and the decay is on 2. And okay, this parametric EQ is at 18%, and this is the setting. So now let's actually hear that together. Fire. So just like that, it's not that complicated. As you can see, this chord progression is really very simple actually. Just have this. So it's a very simple, I mean, it's not very simple, but it's not as complicated as it may sound. So here's my beat remake of Rema's Fun. I hope you learned something in this video. Hope you have a nice day. See you in the next video. Peace.